if you wonder if these people are saying that their memories are erased, and then you do have an encounter or you do have a sighting of a thing.
So I never gave that any thought whatsoever until I saw Gary Nolan's. That's his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nolan. His talk on like Channel 7 News or something, and he described this electric feeling that he experienced after something. This is how you connect, is what he said, and that's literally the only thing of that entire video that made me like, oh, because I remember that I had this weird ass dream about a gray. And then after that dream, I was just like, I remember feeling very electric. I am not saying that I had an alien encounter. I'm not. I'm truly not. But that did give me pause. Excuse me. I keep burping. It's really embarrassing.
But it's interesting to me that these things always happen while people are sleeping, or they always happen at night, which is when the dream state happens. And like, so what is the dream state? Dreams are bizarre. Like, we have this very realistic thing that we're experiencing that we don't really understand. And we sort of just accept that we have this wild imaginary experience that seems realistic. And you wake up, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this dream that I had. It's so nutty. Like, what is that? Like, what is this thing that's different than any other sort of imaginary thing that you experience in your life? All the imaginary things that you experience in your life are like, they're easily written off for the most part. But dreams seem hyper realistic sometimes.
They sure do.
And you have to remember, oh, this is a dream. I had one last night where I woke up and I was like, oh, it's a dream. Like, what the fuck is that about? How weird. They seem like real experiences while they're happening.
Right.
And if you are having dreams that seem like real experiences and they're recurring and they're involving extraterrestrials and you've had this sighting and there is this understanding that they could manipulate what you remember and don't remember, you can kind of mind fuck yourself into thinking you're getting abducted.
That's why I don't think I was. Because to think that you were, or to think that you have been abducted is, I feel like, it's strange. Like, because I don't feel like I've been abducted. Like, I don't feel like a weirdo.
I feel like you've been abducted.
Do you?
I don't know. It's just fun to say.
It is. It is. But yeah, I don't know. That wasn't it. So, if there are people who are like suggestible and think they've been abducted,
right, then
what I am describing is a good case study in that.
I think that's a factor for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's a factor too with memories. Like, people can place memories into a person.
Right.
And also people can distort their own memories over time and then have this like very rigid memory of a thing and you have it completely wrong.
That's very common, I'd imagine.
Very common.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why the mind is such a bizarre thing in the first place, because it's how you formulate your view of reality, but it lies to you.
Right. Well, but they're hopefully useful lies.
Yeah, hopefully, but sometimes not, you know? Sometimes people have a very bad version of themselves from memories. Like, they have a lot of self-hate or a lot of self-doubt, and then they connect these memories to themselves and they distort themselves and make themselselves even worse.
Right.
Yeah, so hopefully it's beneficial, but sometimes it's not.
Well, it has to exist from an evolutionary perspective, I'd imagine. That serves a purpose. That's not random.
Probably, right?
If you're remembering yourself as doing something obnoxious or stupid, that's because the essence of you doing that is true, and now you're ideally supposed to overcorrect or supposed to correct that.
Right. It's a lesson that you can learn from that.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're right. If it just cripples you emotionally, it doesn't do any good.
Well, it's just fascinating that this animal, this calculating animal, is like constantly forming images of what's real and what's not real. And, you know, and what it is and it's looking at itself in some sort of a strange way and trying to examine how it fits into the world.
Which is impossible for it to do.
Right.
So it's like an exercise of torture.
Yeah. And yet we all engage in it.
Constantly.